I'm Patrick Lancaster, and right now we are on a frontline position near Ugledar. This position is Russian and DPR forces, and just down the way in front is Ukrainian positions. And right now we can see here some ammunition that was actually left by the Ukrainians when they evacuated these positions here in this tree line. This was Ukrainian positions here. We can hear the battle going on in front of us. We're going to go a little bit farther to see what the situation is here on the ground, but this is, as I said, the frontline position near Ugledar, and yesterday we were in a village close to there as well. So every day we're coming a little bit more close to the action and show you exactly what's happening on the front line here, because the world needs to understand what's happening from both sides so you can have an educated opinion. You don't have to just be fed the narrative of the Western mainstream media. You can watch reports from both sides and educate yourself and make your opinion from there. And that's what we're doing. We're showing you what's happening on this side of the front line because no one else will. And now we're going farther down this kind of second line position to the very front line position, and we can hear the battle raging at those positions. Not really too much small arms fire, but a lot of artillery and mortars. Okay, now we're coming. Look. Fucking shit. What the fuck is it? Come on. So I'm not sure if we got that on camera, but there was just some sort of weird kind of hissing rocket that came in down the tree line incoming to where we were before. Maybe it was a Tor rocket or something like that. It's very strange, very hissing and a lot of smoke when it hit. Now in that direction is the very, very front line where there's DNR and Russian positions virtually next to the Ukrainian positions, just a matter of meters. But also, in this direction, there's Ukrainian positions. So this is a very interesting front line, how it just goes kind of zigzags. So we're trying to figure out exactly where we are. We're right now in kind of no man's land. I mean, this is what we call real journalism. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but this isn't some press tour that the journalists wait for. This is meeting people, finding out information, and just risking it all and coming into the forest and trying to find the best story we can for you. But sometimes it gets a little it makes you a bit nervous when you're not exactly sure the proper direction to go in, but we're doing our best to show you what's really happening. And of course we're here with our PL News Today team member, a great part of our team, Sasha. What do you have to say about today?
Yeah, we're trying to reach to Ugledar as close as possible now, and we're gonna show you some gunfight if it's possible. Let's see what we can do today.
You know, this is what we try to do for you guys, is just bring you the best stories that no one else is bringing you. We don't sit around and wait for the press tours. We go off on our own and find you these exclusive stories. We're going to continue to do that because there's a big front line all across Donbass right now. We're going to do our best to show you as much of it as possible as many of the breaking stories as far as the military actions go and the civilian population, that is. So we're going farther towards the very front here, and we're gonna keep on. So like this video, subscribe if you're new, share it across all social media. And remember, we're independent crowdfunding journalists, so you can support our work with the link on the screen or in the description. We're still going forward. And that's the front line. So just so you understand what's happening right now, we're going from where we were, basically the second line, a little farther, through the tree lines, through the different positions, walking in somewhat safe areas, even though we're hearing so much shelling, seeing some incoming, and making our way as close as possible to the very frontline positions next to Ugledarsk, the, like you could say, biggest Ukrainian stronghold in this immediate vicinity. Okay, now that we could hear was outgoing from DPR and Russian positions back that way, and we can hear the rockets or the shells actually flying and whistling through the air, tearing the air as they go over our heads. Not sure if the camera's actually picking up the whistle or not. Yeah, wow. There's the whistle of the shell just tearing through the air over us. And so basically we've already walked a good probably 2 kilometers, if not a bit more. We're making our way. For as much fighting and things are going on each side of us and in front of us and behind us, it's actually kind of, you could almost say, calm, even though there's just constant artillery battles going on. But that's basically been the thing since the fighting kind of wore down in Mariupol. From what I understand, most of the fighting now is turned into artillery battles back and forth across the front line, and that's what we're witnessing today. We haven't heard any small arms, just heavy artillery back and forth, back and forth. And there is the Ukrainian positions right there, and Ukrainian territory right there. We're gonna get a little closer, see if we can show you what the closer situation is. And now we can see from the damage to the trees here, we're getting closer to the actual positions that come under intense shelling, and we're going to show you what the situation is. I mean, as many of you know that watch my reports on a regular, you know, I don't really do reports like this where just me talking a lot, things like this, but I wanted to show you how the situation is to get to the actual front line, very, very front line positions next to the Ukrainian positions. It's quite a effort, you could say. I mean, right now we've got DNR Russian positions on this side with Ukrainians on the other side of it, and on that side, and in front of us. So we're kind of in a pocket that goes forward towards Uledarsk. And we're going in that pocket to show you what the situation is. It's, as I said, seems calm here, but there, it's front line, there's front line, and in front of us. And also, you should understand, I'm not showing a lot of the different tree lines and everything because some information of positions of forces is confidential. And as a journalist, you don't want to put anybody's life at risk or expose confidential information if it isn't directly related to the story. And in this case, we're showing you what the situation is like on the front line. We're not trying to expose any secret information or anything like that. So we're gonna make sure we don't put anybody's life at risk. You know, even though this is a war zone and, you know, the front line, it's still kind of nice to be out in the wilderness, seeing the trees, the plants, listening to the birds sing. Kind of quite interesting songs. The birds singing and the artillery firing. And here in this little no man's land, we found a few RPG-7 rockets just sitting here. But we're still going forward. Like we said, we're here in the kind of the middle area where it's not really a big target yet, but we're about to the front itself. So we're gonna be preparing ourselves mentally to get low, get up next to something that might protect us from the shrapnel itself. But here we go. Let's see what it's like on the very front line next to the Ukrainian positions just ahead. Whew. Это был град или кассетна?
Grad.
Grad.
Ukrainian.
So that was the closest yet today. Wasn't very close. You can see it across the field here, but that went from kind of like I was saying, kind of feeling a little calm here to right in the shit. Yeah, so that was Ukrainian grad coming down on DPR positions, Russian positions. Could be that or that. Okay, well, we're going farther in. So we're almost, as you see, we're almost to the very front itself. We're headed to basically the line where those grads just came down.
The same place.
Mm-hmm. And here we see a fresh impact mark right next to us. We see the leaves are still green. It probably happened this morning, not too long ago. Probably heard it actually coming up this way. So what it seems like is happening right now is the Ukrainians are correcting their fire. Like what happens is they fire some shells, rockets at a certain location, and they might have a drone up above that's spotting where the shells are landing, and they're adjusting their fire from that and then firing again. Like we just heard, first was a couple, then another, and they're adjusting their fire now. They might have a spotter on the ground that's telling them, radioing in where the shells are landing, and then they're adjusting accordingly. This is a tactic that we've seen used several times. And we see these foxholes, you could say, and they seem pretty new, but this territory was just taken, 6, 7, 8 days ago, so I'm not really sure if these are Russian DNR forces foxholes. Probably are, but they might be Ukrainians as well. I mean, this is new territory. So if these rockets or mortars or anything gets incoming here, the smartest thing to do is, and what we're going to do, is jump in one of these foxholes. It's amazing how well being a little bit under the level of the ground makes you feel when there's incoming shells. And here's the incoming shell that hit right next to one of the foxholes. Doesn't seem like anybody was in there when it hit, but it sure tore up that shoe. So, and we can see the trees here right next to the front, and this is from yesterday's attack. And we can just see the utter devastation that happened to these trees after this foxhole was hit right here. And that is the front line. Just on the other side of that ridge is where Ukrainian territory is, as well as over there. And all across there. And just over there is Ulidarsk. If it was a little clearer, we'd be able to see it, as far as I'm under the understanding. Just over that tree line is Ulidarsk. So this is the battle for Ulidarsk. Okay, we've made it to the very front. Just on the other side of this hill over here is Ukrainian-controlled territory. We're told this field in front of us here is a minefield. Now, these front lines here are so much different than we've seen in the past years, because the front lines we've been into before, they've had years to build up. But as we said, this territory here has just been under control of Russian DPR forces for maybe 8 days, 7, 8 days at the most. And like I said, just over the hill here is Ukrainian-controlled territory. On this way, as I said, we're in a kind of a pocket. So on this way is also, across the trees, Ukrainian territory, and in that direction, less than a kilometer, is Ulidarsk. And this is the frontline battle for Ulidarsk. And there's just sets of tree lines where it's not even clear where's the second line, where's the third line, where's the first line, because it's like there's several first front lines. And we're here. We're not far at all from Ukrainian positions, and from many sides, every sides of this pocket. So we've done what we can to show you the situation here on the ground. It's been a very unique kind of report today, because we don't go by a script. We show you exactly how it happens. We weren't sure how today was going to play out, if we'd even make it this far. We saw the rockets coming in, and in fact, those rockets that we saw landed just over there, and they are fired from the direction of Ulidarsk and travel this whole front line here. Even though Ukraine's on that side and that side, the rockets regularly, we're told, just go down this way, bang, bang, bang. And that's what we saw several times, hitting just over there. Now we're going to continue on to show you all of the information. I didn't expect the front line to be quite like this. This is my first time to a very new front line. Of course, we've been in Mariupol's front line, but that's a whole different story. Inside the city, street to street fighting. And this is in basically what we're told is somewhat of a natural wildlife reserve area, or at least it was before. And this is the divide between the forces here. And we can even see in this minefield over here, we don't want to go out there and show it, but there's a crater where maybe it was an impact of a mine or a mortar, or maybe a landmine, who knows. But we're showing you everything we can, and we're going to continue to do that all across Donbass. There's a big front line. There's many stories happening, many battles going on. This is the Battle of Ulidarsk, and we're showing you this. Now, who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 days? We're told things might change quickly, and if things change quickly and the control of Ulidarsk change, we're going to be the first one in there, as we always are in these new territories. And we're going to show you what the situation's like in Ulidarsk and the surrounding areas. If things change here, we're going to keep showing you, keep pushing to show you the facts as they come. Nobody else shows you what we show you or how we show it to you. So we're glad you're here with us. Please help me show the world what's going on. Like this video, share it across all social media, and remember, if you're new, subscribe. And also, we're independent crowdfunded journalists. You can support our work with the link on the screen or in the description. And also, by request, we also opened a couple crypto wallets. We had gotten many requests for that. So if you'd like to donate that way, that's great too. But we are only able to make these breaking stories with the support of our viewers. So let's continue going on these important breaking news, you could say adventures together. And the most important thing is you learn something with us. We're learning, you learn something as well. Don't just watch reports from this side of the line. Don't watch reports from that side of the line. Watch reports from both sides so you can get more of a complete picture. Don't just get fed the narrative by your government and your mainstream media. Do some research. Get educated so you can make your own opinion on what the real situation is. I'm here on this side of the front line. I'm not in Kiev. I'm not in Odessa. I'm showing you what's happening here on the ground in Donbass, and I'm going to continue to do it as I've been doing for 8 years. So do it with me. Let's show the world, and let's get educated.